What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another movie review. And today we're taking a look at something which isn't coming out in 2023. It came out in 1989, if my memory does serve me correct. However, this is one of my girlfriend's favorite childhood movies, and we recently watched it together, and it did cause a little bit of an argument, not gonna lie. But skipping past that because that is not relevant for today's video, we're taking a look at All Dogs Go to Heaven, which is a statement that I cannot argue with because all dogs are good boys and good girls, and they're all adorable and they all deserve love. And we're on a bit of a dog movie spree recently, so stay tuned for that because there is a lot of dog-related films coming on the channel very soon. So expect no Lego customs because it's all based around dogs, and genuinely I cannot do that in Lego, so a little bit of a break from Lego customs. So let's see what Google has to say about this film, and then we'll get into my opinion, because my opinion is better than Google's. So Charlie is killed by his erstwhile friend Carface and finds himself in heaven. Charlie then returns to Earth, reunites with Itchy, and befriends Anne-Marie, an orphan. That's very basic information right there. So let's actually get into the story and quickly recap what happens before I talk about my opinions and on the story. So, story starts off with Charlie getting out of the pound and going back to his old club with his best bud Carface and Itchy, who he set up the club with, and Carface is here to betray him, so he gets all the money, all the moolah from this club, ends up killing Charlie. Itchy tries to warn him, but unfortunately Itchy is way too slow, and Charlie gets hit by a car and ends up in the ocean. Charlie wakes up in heaven, and what do you know? He's greeted by a very strange angel dog, who is basically telling him that he ran out of time. Charlie then steals his clock, wears it around his chest, wears it around his neck very proudly, and basically starts it up again, so he has more time. He then protects this thing with his life for the rest of the movie. He goes back to Earth and meets up with an orphan Anne-Marie and back up with Itchy, as it said on Google, so it did lie about that fact. But they work together to steal money from a load of different people. Anne-Marie sees two very kind people, a man and a woman who are probably married, and she wants to go spend time with them. She wants them to adopt her and be her parents. Charlie doesn't let her go because he needs her, because she's cute and adorable and she's a good distraction while they steal everything they need and put bets on dog races and horse races. So they are making a fuck ton of money. They set up their own little club and life is good for a while until Carface comes to track them down and take over their club as well. They end up taking over the club. Charlie goes to see his ex-girlfriend, I guess, with all the pups, and Itchy gets practically beaten to death, well, with like an inch of his life, and Anne-Marie finds out that they've been lying to them and that she's only being used for money, which she was used for before with all the other stuff with the other dogs. So she was literally just being used by these dogs for her special power to talk to animals. She ends up talking to the family, and Charlie takes her back, and she gets in a lot of trouble. She almost dies. They interact with a crocodile in the sewer. There's a massive explosion on like a boat and an oil spill. Charlie then has to decide to save his watch or to save Anne-Marie. And he chooses Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie goes back to the two lovable humans who will take care of her forever. And Charlie then runs out of time as his watch stops at the bottom of the ocean. And he goes back up to heaven to spend the rest of his days looking down on Anne-Marie and Itchy, who is also living with Anne-Marie. That is where our movie ends. And I do believe it should have ended there, but apparently they made a number 2 with the same dog. And I think that is awful, and I think that ruins his story so much, and ruins his happy ending, ruins his self-sacrifice, and ruins his sort of whole character arc in the first movie. So let's actually break down this character arc. He has been very selfish, very self-centered, and only wants money and to live a long, happy life, and he's basically just using Anne-Marie. But as the story goes on, we see that he learns to love Anne-Marie and actually care about her and want her to be happy, so he lets her go, and he chooses her over his own life, sacrificing himself, making the final decision to save her so she can be happy and get what she's always wanted, 2 happy parents, and to live a happy life with a family. he then gets that really good ending, that good character ending, and becomes a good dog. And genuinely, I enjoyed that ending. I thought that was a good ending. It was very good for his character and made you just love him that extra bit more. I thought he was a really good and interesting character all the way through the movie, but his plot line seems to be done a lot more often and is very overdone. However, this did come out in 1989, so I do believe this is the original or one of the early sort of forms of this storyline of sort of using someone and then actually learning to like them and then, putting them first. Very similar to like the love story, but slightly twisted on its head with a dog and a child, when not to do with love, but to do with care and familiar bonds. So the animation style for all the way back then is really good actually, and it's very nostalgic and very Jungle Book vibe. Again, it is made by Disney, and it is genuinely a movie I didn't expect Disney to make, because they make nothing like this nowadays. All this sort of 3D, sort of computer generated AI is quite boring and very samey. They don't do anything as adventurous as they used to with their old animated movies. Like some of their old animated movies, like Black Cauldron, I think that's what it's called, or is it Dark Cauldron? I don't remember. But also like the mouse ones, not Mickey, the other mice ones where they go on like journeys, Aristocats, like all the other stuff like that is so fucking good and so unique. They've just given up on all that stuff. They've just completely dropped it in the dust and tried to do more safe princess based stuff and just remake the classics, which everyone loved, and sort of left these ones behind. I'm kind of glad that they've left this one alone and don't make it in live action. Although I think this would be like one of the more easier ones to turn into live action. It is like a dog movie, and there's loads of those about, and they're quite decent. So if there was going to make any in live action, this one would probably be like the easiest one. But again, I do enjoy this movie. The songs are good. It's not a musical, but the songs in it are pretty good. And it is got some decent comedy. I was laughing through it. I was enjoying the movie. It was pretty decent. Got me giggling, got me laughing, had me sort of swaying to the songs, tapping my feet, wiggling my toes. If you don't know, I wiggle my toes when I'm happy and excited. Don't know why. It's just a good little toe wiggle. I don't know why I do it. I just do when I'm excited and happy. Toes go for a little dance, a little boogie. So my toes are wiggling all the way through this. I felt like a kid again, enjoying some old classic Disney. And genuinely, I wasn't expecting it, because I've never seen this movie before. This was the first time I'd watched it. I was introduced to it from my girlfriend, so thank you to her for showing me this movie. An absolute classic. I've never seen this before, but I did get the nostalgia vibes from it, just from its art style alone. And I think the nostalgia is going to sway me a little bit into giving this a pretty high placement of like a solid 8 out of 10 movie. It's a good original story. Again, it came out in 1989, so it is original for the time. And it is a good animated story, and it's so good. It has a very good message in it, which all good Disney films have. And it's got good, interesting characters with good character arcs. It's got an interesting villain with there being no like real villain except Scarface, which is a joke on Scarface. He's the one that sort of kickstarts all this and eventually drowns. But again, he isn't really a villain. The villain is sort of more or less Charlie, sort of doing the same stuff, lying to Anne Marie and using her like Carface was using her, but trying to be her friend and saying he saved her, and basically just lying to her and treating her like shit, like Carface did. So I like that, and how he changed his tune by the end was really good. He was also very selfish, getting his friends hurt, with Itchy getting beaten the shit out of, and all their hard work being destroyed. And Itchy was trying to warn him throughout the entire movie, and he wasn't listening. But seeing all that like be resolved by the end is really nice, with Itchy and Anne Marie being safe. And I am going to be honest, this was a tearjerker. I was crying at the end because of Charlie going and dying. It did make me cry, brought a tear to my eye. It was enough to make a grown man cry. I'm 20, and I was bawling my eyes out because of the dog dying and the dog disappearing. It was really sad stuff. And genuinely, Genuinely, it's an 8 out of 10 movie. I do recommend you go watch this. I think it's on Disney Plus. I could be wrong, but we have this on like DVD, so that's how we watched it. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day. Stay home and stay safe. And if you do like my content, please do subscribe. Check out some of the other videos that I have. I do film review, anime review, food review, Lego review, play some games here. It's a variety channel. There is something for everyone here. And if you do want a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, you can go check out my TikTok and see what else I have to offer in my link tree as well, from my Twitch to my Instagram to my Cameo and my Twitter and everything else like that. But I am officially done, and I will see you all in the next film review, which I do later on about the movie Strays, which came out in 2023. So we're back into the 2023 binge. All right, bye-bye.